So now you've seen 2021 examples, 2022 examples. Let's dig into 2023 examples, and it's the same shit. Not only different day, not only different week, not only different month. Yes, it's the same stuff, literally, even to this point. We teach this stuff for quite a while already. We show this stuff for quite a while already. It's literally the same stuff. The same exact stuff than it was years and years ago. Again, it's the algorithm, how Enigma delivers price action, and that's how it has to work, right? For example, if you utilize the understanding of major, medium, and minor inducements for directional bias as well. Again, for example, if you look in the M15 on GU this time, well, again, time frame doesn't matter also. It's always the same, right? If you just look in here, we have this equal highs, turn into a triple top, and then finally getting induced in Asia here. If you have a triple top getting induced on obviously higher time frames, again, that's even the 4 hour if you go even higher, but M15 obviously gives you the same understanding of higher time frames. Again, you don't need the 1 hour or the 4 hour. If you just zoom out, boom, that's your higher time frame right there, even on the M15, right? But then you have your major inducement, for example. Then again, what did you learn already? After major inducement or inducement in general, you can wait for some sort of relevant break of structures, right? Again, then you're just snatching an imbalance area as well. But then again, the most important aspect is the scenarios you learned already with Asia forming the range, building liquidity to the upside with the trend, breaking out of Asian range with momentum to the upside, tapping to the left into an imbalance area, filling the imbalance. And when does it happen? If you check the timing on the bottom right here, 9 London Open to the absolute minute for the extreme entry in here. And of course, then you aim for the next medium liquidity as minimum. This is absolutely a Mona Lisa scenario, trading away from this major inducement and this perfect intraday scenario. Again, that's the way you have to do it. Don't randomly be like, oh, Asian range induced high, induced low, let me trade in the other direction. No, you have to combine it, of course, a little bit. Then again, knowing this is the major inducement, again, then they're creating this obvious smart money trap. Again, they want to stop out everyone first to take out the liquidity and then obviously move in the other direction. So what do? They, of course, fake the smart money trap in here with this wick. Looks like news as well, right? Tapping in these areas, pull back, and of course then just stop them out. In the long run, this forms your last inducement, right? Again, when does it happen? Was a price only in London also to induce high once again away from this major inducement. Then of course the direction after that is just short. Then again, for example, this would be another Mona Lisa scenario where you have first the inducement low of Asia just to again go high once again, whip these equal lows once again, and then yes, it can also tap in this because again you already had this inducement, the last one in here, and it's the same scenario. You trade away from the major inducement, away from the medium inducement, into the intraday cycle in here, right, into an extreme mitigation after you had your intraday trap, and to liquidity, take it out into mitigation, away from the medium and away from the major, and always taking out all the smart money traders before that as well. And of course then it's the same scenario over and over again, right? So let's see how, for example, we can make sense now understanding price action, the way it's delivered, and now even looking at the next medium inducement, which we had here, which was the news. Again, I think it was FOMC, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think so, right? So again, look what we had in February 2023, right? Again, first we had our obvious smart money trap being induced with the news. No one can be selling anymore, right? So of course your trap is done. Liquidity has been taken to the high side with the news. No one can be selling. And of course, then this thing just drops. That's why the next day is just dropping massively as everyone gets taken out in here. There's no more sellers. That's why they easily can push price lower, right? But did we grab any major liquidity, right? So we had, of course, this zone in here, which got already induced to low side. That's why the pullback can happen, right? Of course, that's how it has to work, right? But then if you check what's the next areas, they would actually aim for liquidity. First, again, when they grab liquidity, they will pull back, right? So for late reversal trade of the day, that would be possible. But then we look at the next intraday scenario to see what should happen next. Liquidity is down there, right? Of course. So what can we do in these scenarios, right? First, we want to aim more to the liquidity, but then we have to wait for our ideal trade scenario for intraday perspective. And while we do that, of course, we can also expect other traps, for example, smart money traps in these areas, right, before they take out the lows, right? So that's all stuff we can know. But first, if we want to grab the liquidity, we have to induce high once again, intraday wise, and then trade into the liquidity, right? So let's see what's our, or first of all, what would be our absolute Mona Lisa scenario you already learned? Can I give you a hint? If we had a couple of days earlier, Asia range, right? Equal lows being formed of Asia low, momentum to the upside, breakout of Asia range in London to the absolute minute, and then go lower, right? Here's your perfect entry opportunity in here, right? Induced Asia high in London, relevant break of structure, into mitigation, aim for minimum next liquidity areas with the triple bottom, right? Same thing in here, Asia range, here a little channel or trend forming, breakout of Asia high into the Asia low liquidity, right, to drive price higher away from these areas. And of course, you had another liquidity grab even in Asia, right, which pushed this price action higher, and then finally takes out low to go higher. And then obviously this is just an extreme version of it. We have Asia range being induced high, all the way high into the medium inducement, right, and then push price lower. And obviously at some points price just has to run away from these medium inducement zones. So again, don't trade every random London inducement low you see just because it took something out. No, look for the left, to the left, and previous days as well to see what makes sense. Same thing in here. Again, you took out now the liquidity, right, with speed. Everyone is shorting, breakout traders coming in, taps into the smart money trap in here already, right? Perfect. That's why the pullback can happen. But guess what they're doing with the pullback? They're already creating this trend line. So trend traders are getting very excited, right? But what is this? Asia range, right? So what can we expect? What's our Mona Lisa scenario that can happen, right? Let's see what they actually did. Oh, London Open comes in and boom, momentum with London Open into what? Into the left, into some sort of mini. Again, nothing really you could trade on the edge, but again, at least it fills this imbalance areas in here as well. Again, this is also the zone that took out this little pullback in here. So there's definitely some sort of liquidity again as they pull back, break the zone, little pullback, some liquidity has to enter, then the final push that brings lower comes from here, right? So of course, this demand area, or in this case, supply area, right, will of course give you some reaction. But why is it so juicy? Because you have obviously the fake liquidity creation in here. You have your Asia range being induced to the upside. Look at the momentum, look how crazy they react away from that zone, right? So of course, and into the mitigation, this is your perfect London Open scenario, and now you can finally trade into the next trap minimum, right? So but what do you have to wait for, right, for something like that? Again, technically that would be your first entry right here already. Or if you want to look for intraday scenarios, again, even better when they give you some sort of relevant breakout structures in here or create the equal lows. And then again, maybe there's something on lower time frames which creates a trap in here to go to the extreme mitigation, something like in here, whatever. We will not do that right now. And then again, it can be definitely even nicer when they take internal liquidity again, induce high into mitigation of this overall inducement. And then of course, you can aim for the next target zone minimum for the next medium liquidity in here. Again, your perfect starter kit scenario in here, right? And let's see what they did. Boom, they just fall off a cliff. And when they do it, of course, the same way as always, when they do it with this momentum and speed, taking liquidity into like these demand areas, right? Of course, you can expect a reaction out of it, right? So of course, you have to just mock up the proper demand area in here, right? Again, you can expect a reaction. Look for the lower time frames until you get something like a little creation of liquidity. Maybe even scenarios in here. Again, it's the 50 minutes, so you probably have like 5 or 1 minute equal lows in here, right? Something like this, and then an inducement low, right? Again, you're already into this demand area, right? So of course, after this huge run, they will pull back, and that's how you can also identify these little pullback trades in here. Again, where's the last thing you should target for? Again, trust me, our breakout traders in here getting very excited, so they put in break evens in here anyways. Boom, they got out with the break evens, right? What a surprise. So it's always the same stuff when you think about it. And then come even back once again, and that brings in also liquidity for later. But the day is running out of time here, so we have to wait for the next day anyway. So let's see what Asia does. If they already blow them out, yes, they do. But again, they make people very excited about the sells already, right? Again, break and retest, right? Breakout traders getting a break even, but break and retest traders getting the whatever the support and resistance kind of thing, double tops in here. And now look at the reaction, and now look at this, what we had earlier. Huge breakout zone, isn't it? Huge breakout zone, and now look at this. Again, news event, obviously, all the news were bad, price action has to fall off a cliff, breakout zone, break and retest, double tops, all that stuff. So everyone is going short. Everyone is going short. And look at the momentum continues, right? So, but what's the death blow? What is the death blow? Asia range is completed. Look at the trend already forming the whole day. So what's the death blow they can do? What do they want to do before that? They want to bring out premature buyers, not give them the chance to be in the move, right? So how can they do it? They first break the trend line, premature people getting in with the buys, right? They're getting probably snatched already. And they're also creating another double top to push even more sellers into the market. So if they give the death blow, boom, with momentum, what's the perfect time it should happen? You already see the box appearing. London open to the absolute minute. Are you freaking kidding me? Right? So that's when the trap is done. Everyone is short. The little trend, the big breakout, the break and retest, the double top, the whole little trend is building. The premature buyers are getting stopped already. The momentum is in. Timing to the absolute minute. So what are you waiting for? It's the same stuff. Same stuff as always. You either wait for relevant breakout structures would be in here, but in this case, it would be a liquidity grab. So again, more likely you're waiting for reaction away from it, and then you wait for price to come back into the extreme away from the inducement. Again, you induced all these lows in here with the whole trend in here. So this push is ready to smoke, right? Until it gets the next liquidity areas, which are minimum, again, these highs in here. Right? And then again, they will start building the next traps, and so on and so forth, right? But now you're trading away from this inducement. Always trade away from the inducement, especially when it's perfectly the starter kit variation. So when they come back in, right? So again, look at that. They're even creating here the little equal highs in here. Plus, again, it's the trend. Smart money traders, order flow traders, they're entering in here. They want to see new lower lows, right? But guess what? They tap into the extreme mitigation, right? That's when you can enter the starter kit buys, right? So that's when you can enter. Even you can use our fancy tool in here and buy it, right? Whatever that just did in here, right? And then again, the next target should be minimum what? Either you target the next liquidity areas, which is in here, intraday maybe, right? But overall, you can target higher, like for example here, but let's just make it an intraday trade, right? But again, this is a very, very confirmed trade. So if again, they just give you a smooth ride, boom, you technically can be done for the day already, but you have to think again, long term, what's most likely going to happen here? Again, look at the imbalances, right? So they're faking probably the smart money trap. So they will give you a fake reaction down. So again, it's not a problem to close that off, right? And again, because they will fake the reaction anyways, you just grabbed a little liquidity in here with the equal highs. So again, if you really wanted to, here's your little pullback trade. But again, just into the continuation. Again, they technically only want to fake the pullback and then continue higher, right? So this could be already enough, right? Again, the day is all over or soon over anyway, so they will build the traps for the next day, tapping into the smart money trap once again, given the fake reaction anyways, right? So let's see what they're ending up the day with, right? Okay, so they're just ending the day like this, again, building the equal highs in here, and now Asia is moving away from that again, prematurely bringing people in. Fake Kochs in here, right? Fake change of characters, right? So we have to wait what Asia does though, right? And that's very fucking nice now. That is super, super nice. Guess what? Trend is being formed, right, in Asia. So the whole day is starting to build buyers in. So what do they have to do if they want to stop them out? First, again, premature sellers have to be stopped out. So how do they do it? They break the trend line. Sellers come maybe in, right? Obviously, they're getting smoked already. Boom. What is that now? Asia range. Breakout momentum. What's the timing? Look at the clock. London open. What a surprise, taking out these equal highs in London. Oh my freaking god. Isn't that another perfect starter kit situation, right? So what can we do in these scenarios, right? We wait for London open, right? Again, I just show you the broad approach. You always know how to enter. I just show you how you technically can do it. You wait for your confirmations, right? Like London open, and then you literally can sell it if you wanted to, and you aim for the next liquidity areas, which would be to the short side, right? So that's all they do. And then of course, the next thing, what they want to do, smart money trap, and then obviously into these proper demand or supply areas, in this case demands, right? Areas after they take out again the continuation bias of the order flow with the obvious imbalances. So you expect smart money trap into proper demand areas and then continue higher as you want to grab the next liquidity trading away from this trap in here, or an inducement perfect scenario in here, right? So for now, you can technically just sell it in here, right? So let's see, boom, smokes down, right? And of course, that's your intraday target, and they just hold it. Okay, so they're just messing around, nothing to worry about. Obviously, your entry should be much better than that, so it should be up here-ish, right? If you obviously look to the left as well into these next areas, right? Supply demand areas, always the same stuff. It's literally always the same. It's the same scenario we had in here. It's literally 2 days later. So again, perfect cup scenario, perfect starter kit scenario in here, perfect starter kit scenario in here, perfect starter kit scenario in here. Then now they're just messing with price action a little bit. But again, what do they do in here? They're just faking the ultimate, literally quad million top in here. So retailers getting very excited about this sell, right? So again, now you're just trading the fake reaction of the sell in here. Again, if like you see a quadruple top in here, you know it's just literally a fake reaction. So the moment it taps into this smart money trap in here, we would be out. And when do they do it? Or when should they do it? Same scenario. Look at Asia low, forming the equal lows with another Asia low. So again, this sell should definitely smoke these equal lows in here. And then we would be out, boom, like this. We would close it off like in here, right? Boom. And now we know, okay, smart money trap most likely, right? So we can expect a reaction, right? Again, and that's what's the ideal time, as always, would be London open. What a surprise, right? So smart money trap faking the reaction for obvious smart money traders, right? Again, they think, okay, this is again the continuation, the Koch, whatever. Again, it's the same thing as we had in here. They're faking the Koch first in here, right? They're faking the Koch first in here. It's the same stuff all the time. They fake the Kochs first, right? In here, they fake the Kochs first in here, right? It's always the same. They want to obviously induce these premature buyers or sellers first, same way they do it here. Premature buyers getting in, smart money traps getting created in here, right? And again, when does the trap happen? London open to the minute. They want to push price lower once again, boom. And now obviously the trap is completed, and that's when you can come in and obviously open the buys as you understand proper price delivery. And again, what's the next target minimum? Next liquidity target. And what's the next proper enigma objective? Get a mitigation zone properly done in here, right? Again, huge imbalance after liquidity grab. Yes, it's Asia low, right? But for this scenarios, it makes sense as they're grabbing liquidity first. They coming from an inducement, grabbing liquidity into mitigation, coming from this perfect starter kit scenario once again. So let's see what they did. Oh, okay. They just stupid literally one candle. Okay, I'm not sure if that was news. It should not really be news at that time. But yeah, they just literally shot through it. And again, that should give us confidence until the next area, or you can partial out for sure. That's definitely a good scenario, right? But if you don't want to partial, you can just ride a little bit. But again, be prepared. What should they always do? Smart money traps, giving fake reactions, getting premature sellers in now. So how do they do it, right? Oh, what is this? Change of character, fake one, of course, right before the actual supply demand area in here with the imbalances up here as well, right? So premature people getting in, they're seeing the change of character, they're faking the reversal. So obviously this creates a smart money trap in the top as well. So what will they do? They're gonna stop them, obviously, and that's when we close our position, boom, and obviously can prepare for the counter trend as we literally tap into the mitigation right here. So why not literally counter trend it right away? As again, the trap is done, the momentum is done. Look at how they're speeding away. And again, everyone is now long break of structures. Oh my god, blah blah blah, will continue higher, blah 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 blah. That's what they're thinking, right? Smarter than that. Wait for the next proper price movement they do, right? So guess what? It's always the same. Look what they do. Wait until they show you their hand, right? And again, what do? Look what it is. A little trend in here. This is the inducement of the trend. This is the structural inducement. This is the push that mitigates this inducement, which tapped into the supply demand areas, right? Again, yes, it's in Asia. So if you trade Asia, it's the same stuff. Look for these little creation of liquidities into the inducement and then into mitigation, trade away from that overall, right? So again, if you don't like this, you wait for what? Wait for what? Exactly, relevant break of structures away from an inducement, right? So what's your inducement point of interest in here? These areas, where's your liquidity? Right here, right? Your internal liquidity. So let's see. When they tap or don't, okay, boom, they do obviously. So that's technically the short you can take up here, but obviously I was too fast, so I missed that. So let's see if they give another proper re-entry. Again, you want to trade away from the objective now. All right, so let's see what they do. Always that would be a very nice ride. This is absolutely gorgeous now as they're creating the equal lows. What can you expect after that? Reaction, right? Into what? Into proper order flow this time, right? Again, as you're creating equal lows, boom, there we go. So now we can definitely open another sell in here, right? As we trading away from the over objective, we having the equal lows perfect target in mind. So the next zone would be this smart money trap with the imbalances we can aim for, right, for the next proper target. So let's see what they did. Okay, messing even a little bit around. Again, if you understand the bigger picture, there's nothing to be worried about at all. Again, now next day starts, right? Okay, we already can see what they're doing, right? Look at this, forming the trend already in Asia. So you know what comes next. You know what comes next. Inducement of the trend line. What a surprise, to bring in premature sellers to do what? To, of course, stop them out in when? After Asian range of either Frankfurt or London. This is turned into what? Into mitigation point in here. So what a surprise. You can literally open the next sells in these areas, right? So let's see what they did. Right, again, this is the perfect starter kit scenario once again, and obviously it's good until the next areas down there, right? So let's see, boom, done. Okay, but obviously now you're expecting smart money trap reaction, so maybe they come close to that, so you literally close that. Literally close it. I don't know how to only close that one. Doesn't matter, let's just close it. I have no idea if it closed all of them. I think so, yes. Okay, so it is what it is, right? But again, you're expecting the smart money reaction trap out of it, right? It's the same scenario. You can do that over and over again. So guess what? You wait for your internal break of structures if you have something on the lower time frames. And then, of course, you're trading the bigger reaction of like the bigger smart money trap. And here, tap to the absolute tick. If you check, right, you have your momentum, everyone is getting in the sells, right? So you want to trade the reaction to give obviously buyers the fake illusion that this is continuing higher, right? So again, you want to trade with the trap. So yes, you can literally open a buy in here as well, right? So let's see what they did, messing around. Okay, perfect. But again, what's your inducement mitigation? Right here. Up in these areas, that's your inducement, trading in line with the overall objective into the next liquidity, which is of course down here, right? Again, now you're in a smart money trap. You're just literally trading the smart money trap scenarios, right? So okay, ooh, that was an interesting one. So comes just back, messing around. Okay, so now obviously you close the sells, close the buys, and you literally could open the sells. Again, as you're tapping into the order flow away from the inducement, away from the objective, right? Perfectly fine. You're trading for the next liquidity areas, right? But obviously, this is just a New York entry in here. Then better scenario would be, of course, London the next day. But look at that. Look at that. So now, of course, the day gets slower. It comes to an end. They're forming the equal lows. So I personally would just close this trade and wait for the next scenarios in terms of London and Asia relationship, right? So let's see what they do and what they show in Asia. Again, we already see, okay, equal highs. What a surprise, right? We probably can expect smart money trap in here also, right? So let's see what they do. Okay, so they induce low first, but forming literally the quadruple top in here. So they induce low to do what, obviously? Induce this quadruple top. When do they do it? Look at the timing. To the absolute minute. Are you freaking kidding me? 9 o'clock again. London Open. It's just a joke. It's still a joke. So the moment they snatch the equal highs, like this-ish, into... Isn't that the same shit all over again? Into mitigation area, guess what you can do? You open the short and aim for what? Next liquidity. What's your next mitigation area? Right down there. So the moment they tap in there, of course, you can close it, right? Let's see. Oh, smooth roll, smooth ride, smooth one. Oh, look at that. Are you freaking kidding me? Is that a joke? Right? So now it's better to get out of that. And again, you can wait for the next day because now you obviously reached this area, which also was our inducement overall. So we can expect a deep reaction out of that one, right? So again, we have to mark the whole zone in here. When you wait for the next day, and obviously what Asia brings. Let's see. Okay, they're messing around at this trap like crazy. Okay, so Asia. Okay, that's a different one because we have like these crazy equal lows. We have this crazy equal high, so ranging like a motherfucker. And inducement low this time. Okay, okay. So now we have this inducement of this point in here. This should hold though, as this is your inducement. There's no point of them of inducing the inducement once again. This is your mitigation phase you're in right now. What do you have? Starter kit variation, Asia range forming the equal lows, Asia range forming the fake trend, inducing low in early this time Frankfurt, but inducing the structure, and you already are in the demand area. So you definitely can expect the buys in these areas, right? So personally, 100% I would open the buys in here, and you aim as always for the next liquidity either here, because now you're getting trading literally extreme of that inducement in here. And again, you technically want to grab liquidity a lot. So again, you can have multiple liquidity targets in here, but for intraday targets, again, this would probably make the most sense in here. And then the next day probably gives another scenario. But again, this is the same exact starter kit variation we had like 15 million times at this point. Again, not this one. You induced a low first, trade away from this inducement. This is just literally a small grab in here. But again, probably gives you the reaction as this is a small inducement. But that's good for re-entries, right? So again, if, for example, if you champion the M5, again, the extreme would be all the way down there. It's very unlikely that they come all the way back down there, as again, they technically would give you the quadruple bottom. They will not do that. Again, sometimes you definitely have to keep an eye out for these little zones as well, like in this case, again, these little imbalance areas, these little supply demand areas where they're just in the middle. Sometimes, again, not ideally, but again, guess what? Here's all the equal lows they formed. That's obviously the trap high to move price lower. That's your final inducement. Liquidity is definitely in this area, as again, they built these equal lows, this fake support crazy in here as well. So there's definitely liquidity in here as well. So this is an optional re-entry for sure instead of the extreme one, right? So let's see. Boom, tapping in. So definitely worth to risk it, put stop loss below here. And if it comes low, you can always take the re-entry in here as well, but you're already in this anyways, right? So this is for sure a possibility, right? So we have the extreme entry in here. We have the re-entry in here. The next target should be, of course, in the next liquidity from the previous day, right? So let's see what they did, right? And look at this entry though, by the way, huh? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So let's see what they do. Okay, okay, okay. So we can expect a little smart money trap in here as well. Again, maybe. Oh no, that just literally shoots straight through it, and that's target done. That's literally the target done. Okay, so we had our perfect buys in here. We had a perfect re-entry in here, and we're closing it with the first liquidity target, right? So isn't that absolutely amazing? Isn't that unpredictable? Isn't it random? How can it be? We wait for the next day. We wait for literally the next day because we look at what they do. Equal highs like fuckers. They make it so obvious. Look at that. Trend being formed in Asia to the low side. What? Are you kidding me? Right? So what's your next proper zone if they want to induce low into mitigation to go higher, building the trend already? Okay. Again, that's the same thing. Look at it. Trend line being formed, induced high to go lower first into what? Mitigation this time. And again, if this is another starter kit, you can fucking jump out of the window. Are you kidding me? London Open to the absolute minute. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's the same freaking shit over and over and over again. Again, you aim for the next liquidity target, which is minimum here, right? Again, if you want to aim for something like these Asia highs in here, well, is possible. Let's, oh my God. Oh my God. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my God. And that's how you should do it. It's literally that easy. Use the starter kit in your advantage. The most madness shit you could think of. You have everything you will ever need to be an independent, successful trader for life. Think about that. You have the keys to the freaking enigma. Make something out of that. Absolute madness.